Good afternoon. Let's get our music going. There we go. Alright, I was kind of working on this off stream here just before I started, and I said, you know what? I might as well be live streaming. Why not? So here we are. I am working on the buff and debuff system. Hey, Hank. So the way I'm doing this is I'm setting it up to where I'm working on the run speed buff first to build out the whole system. I think I'm pretty far. I think I'm up to the point now where I can apply the buff from casting a spell. We just need to account for better versions of the spell overriding things, I think is where I am. So I'll kind of show off what I have so far. It's pretty awesome. It's funny because, like, you spend all the time, right, doing things, and then when the whole loop starts to complete, you're like, wow, this is pretty damn cool. So, you know, basically where I'm doing the run speed buff, I have to update this, you know, what the percentages are going to be and everything, which is going to be easy to do, right? I just started meditating, so, you know, I got my, I still got to make armor, so this is my armor outline for now. But yeah, the meditation's pretty cool. Since I'm max level, tier 4, max mage tier, the effects are going to be all purple, because that's what this tier is. So if we stand up, make sure I'm doing the run speed. So basically I could cast this spell. You feel quicker, and it's a run speed buff. So you could go really fast. It only lasts so many seconds. See, and then it wore off. Your speed returns to normal. So I created the loop, right? You can cast run speed. It will do all the particles on casting. It does particles after it's done casting around the player. It sends you the message that says, you know, your speed's faster, right? The specific message for this spell, which is a run speed spell. I set a timer for my buff system, my status effect system. I modify the walk speed attribute of the player statically, and then I get rid of the spell after that time is elapsed. Go for the copyright problems. Have the spell turn you blue, dark blue. What do you mean blue, dark blue? What are the copyright problems? I don't get it. So yeah, right now it's a 5-second cast. See, and the effects kind of follow you. But this is, and I made it fast, that way I could see the difference. Oh, Sonic. Yeah, so right now it doesn't last long, but the whole system's there, right? This is just a matter of, you know, increasing timers and stuff. If you keep casting the spell, it overrides the current spell. But see, I think so far it's pretty awesome. I have a bunch of things, a bunch of new ideas for spells as well. Let me pull up. Where is it? Here we go. Player stats. I took a look at the in-game assets, and these are all of the player stats. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Humanoid, entity, player. There we go. Weird. Ah, there we go. All right, stats. So I actually looked at entity player and I saw all of these stats here. This is actually the stats that make up the classes and whatnot too. So I figured, why not be creative with some of the buffs? I can do things, all the stuff here I actually added to the mod. So I can modify all of these stats with my spells now. So I was thinking, like, you know, this run speed buff, I played with the idea of having more than one effect. So I can make something like Mining Madness, right? So I'll show you what you could do here. So I have these, right? And then when you mine, right, it's just standard. So I increased everything to where I could cast the spell on myself. It increases my run speed and mining speed. So I can just wreck things now until the spell wears off. Right now the spell wore off, and then I go back. So I can do a lot of cool things and a lot of combinations with the spells. So I think that's pretty cool. They can't sue for that. Combine this with X skills, so increased speed powers would be cool. Well, I'm gonna have different versions of my run speed spell. Like, I don't really know what the X skills is going to add. If someone else wants to do whatever they want, right? I'm not gonna make my, you know, go out of my way to add things like that for X skills. If I wanted to add a system like that, I would just add it into the mod myself, you know? I guess I'll put this stuff back. You know, because what's X skills going to do? It's going to make it to where you, do so many things, you gain skill. That's kind of what the magic system's built off of anyways. To level up your mana, you're going to have to do spells to level up your maximum mana. You need to do spells and meditate to regain mana. So, you know. There we go. Well, I'll test your mod at some date. Yeah, I mean, it's getting, you can also steamroller and plow through drifters. Yeah, I can modify accuracy, like all the player stats. I can make it to where you become ridiculous god mode, pretty much, right? Melee weapon damage right there, your range weapon damage, range speed, accuracy. You know, even like your drops and everything, the seek range for animals, I can make you invisible to all animals. You know, it's pretty cool. Flying guys that shoot exploding stuff, I had to stop at that one. Creepers be gone. Well, yeah, I mean, with the spells, tier 4 spells, I actually have things like flight. You know, I have flight, endless intellect, temperance, you know, increase your maximum health, revive, you know, like all these things, super jump. This one's going to be my favorite to make, this summon gateway. I want to make my own version of a rift, but I want it to be like a blue kind of portal. Yeah, and players can walk into it and it will teleport you back to your bound point, you know, wherever you use your temporal gear or wherever the spawn is. So I think that's cool. I want to make a bind to where you don't have to use a temporal gear. You can use mana to, you know, set your bind point somewhere for like however many charges. So there's a lot I can do once these systems are kind of fleshed out, which, you know, this is a big, you know, a big step, right? Time set day, really? / time set day, there we go. So it's getting there, right? All the different spells, I do have different, there we go. See, like different casting animations and whatnot. I gotta do a check on this. I was working on transmutation as well, so I could show that off too. So I can do if... I had a feeling it would do this. So if block select does not equal null, cut this out, paste this in, boop. Continue. Ba 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 ba. Do 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 do. Boo 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 boo. Ah, it's gonna keep going. I want to fix this issue right now. Come on, where was that other thing that just popped up? It was another block select. There it is. All right, let's do if, and I can say block select does not equal null. There we go, paste all that in. All right, so that should fix that. I had a feeling that was going to come up. That came up last night when I was working on transmutation. That mod was cool, but none like exploders, explosions, nukes a valley, banned. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make it to where these spells are bannable, right? You can go into configs and you can disable certain spells. All right, let's see if I fixed it. Oh, this is my run speed spell. Let's change to transmutation. So there we go. No longer fails now. It just stops the spell casting. Excellent. Boop. After early game, temporal gears get stockpiled. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we're working on. So the next thing I'm doing here, right? It's this the run speed buff. So I can cast the spell on myself, run around crazy fast. But what I have to do now is make it to where if you cast run speed 1 on someone, run speed 2 is allowed to override it. So, yeah. So let's do that here. I'm gonna have to modify some things. So the way it works right now is I can apply the temporary stat boost, and I'm looking to see if the stat already exists or it doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist, then I just put it on. If it does exist, I think it's going to be in here that I'm going to have to find, you know, and make a call of like, okay, it's this spell. This spell belongs to this library of spells. So if I detect that this is rank 2, I need to disable the rank 1 spell, put the rank 2 on, and then you get the increased attributes from rank 2. Right now, the way this works is if you cast the spell on yourself, you get, I think it's 10 seconds, and then each time you cast the spell, it refreshes that 10 seconds. So it's like putting it on fresh. 10 seconds is not the final number. I just wanted smaller casting times, and you know, that way I can mass produce this spell, because there's a lot of things that kind of go wrong when you're in this stage of programming. Wrong, you're working on getting good. Hey Bernardo, how's it going? You're never gonna live that down, eh? You know, never gonna live it down. Just get good. I'm gonna open my drink, and we gotta think, how the hell am I gonna do this when each spell is kind of individual? I need to make this as like cookie cutter as I can. I don't want to put in a bunch of spell effects or a bunch of checks to just check like a run speed spell. I want it to see run speed, and I want it to see that the spell is like the higher tier, and then override. Never. How are things? Things are pretty good. Pretty darn good. I hope things are well with you. I think it's in here. Okay, so I believe let's start doing print statements here. See what information I am currently passing. So I'll say info. I need to look at the stat ID, right? This dot affected ID. I think effect ID. Alright, we're gonna fireball this in. I'm gonna cast the spell. This is why I made it to where the cast time is small. Alright, so we are currently passing... Okay, so that was stat, right? So if I cast the spell again, it's going to kind of override. There we go, you feel quicker. So I am currently passing run speed 1, which is the name of my spell. So I need to try and do an interception here for run speed 2. Now, do I want to do this? You know what? I may want to do this slightly differently than what I originally had planned. I think I have to do it up here. All right, let's create one run speed 2. I'm just gonna do this. I gotta create 2 localization files. You feel quicker to, or here we go, 2. So that's gonna be the difference. One's not gonna have a 2 at the end. The other one's gonna have a 2 at the end. Everyone always tells me to get good, but I cannot find the item get good in any stores. Oh Jesus! Oh God! Quaggar. Woo. That is as dad jokey as we could get with that. That was well done, sir. Well done. Sir and or madam. I don't know. Man, let me tell you, Freya's really good at those dad jokes. They are awesome and cringy. They're really good. All right, so I'm gonna do this, right? I need to pull up run speed 2. So let's pull up the spell in my tier 2 spells. Run speed 2. I'm gonna copy all of this over. We gotta paste it all in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is... Yeah, I'm gonna have this at 2.0. I'm gonna make run speed 1. I'm gonna make it slower. It's gonna be a 1.5. So this will give me 50% increased speed. Run speed 1 will. Run speed 2 will give me that 200%. Alright, so I have those. It's gonna do the same particles. I will have the particles last for 4 seconds for run speed 2. It's still gonna last 10 seconds. It's gonna put in run speed 2. You know what I could do? I think I want to do this name for string ID. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I think I want to do this ID. I think that normalizes it a little more. So I don't have to change this copying and pasting it. Just wherever it exists, it's gonna push the name. All right. I'm gonna have to shut down the game, so we should now have run speed 1 and run speed 2 spells be active. They're gonna be pretty much the same. It's gonna be the same animations. The particles afterwards are gonna last twice as long. I think I'm just gonna make that like a blanket statement thing. You know what I want to do? I want to figure out how to create like an image. I would love to have like the run speed icon or something like above your head. That way you know what kind of spell you just cast. All right, let's memorize the spells here. So this is gonna be my run speed 1. Let's go to tier 2. That's run speed 2. All right, let's cast run speed 1 first. Let me get all my mana back. There we go. Boom. All right, so this is how fast I am now. Definitely fast. This is pretty damn fast. This is 50%. There we go. So that was that. Fucking hate the day-night cycle. Oh, I made this this has the longer cast time. I didn't adjust for it. So this is 15 seconds. This is the 200%. See, the particles were following me. I think, okay, I think that's pretty cool. Let's, for the sake of testing, I'm going to be casting a spell a lot. Cast time, let's just make it 5 seconds. You know what? No, let's make it 3 seconds. I'm gonna have to shut down because this when I'm doing these spells, it's pretty deep. Like the whole game has to be reloaded because this is like, you know, this is initialized on the start of the mod. Faster. I think the wind mages, right? They're gonna be able to run pretty fast natively. Boop. Okay, run speed 1 and 2. So let's cast this spell. 3-second cast time. See, that's pretty cool. The trail. Oh, I wanna do the spell for jump height too. I think that would be awesome. Okay, so if I cast this speed, if I keep casting it, yeah, so it's overriding right now. Let's go back into run speed 1. Let's make this slower. I kind of want to see what 1.0 does for my run speed. Faster. That's what she said. Oh, Moobot. Well played. Hope everyone's doing well. Oh, my kitty's here. Amazing. Yeah, I know. Always meowing at me. Get me food, change my litter box. Never, hi, how are you doing, my human? / game mode 2. Get rid of some of this stuff. Let me replenish my mana / time set day. There we go. So this should be a fresh slate. I have a habit of just like logging out of the world randomly. Sometimes I shut down properly, other times I just shut it down. And every once in a while I'm at the point where I am now where it's like it's just turning night, so I'm going to be doing / time set day a bunch. Oh, I should have done this. Boop, there we go. All right, I got run speed 1 and 2. Run speed 1, 5 seconds. I still feel like this is pretty fast for 1.0. Yeah, that was still really quick. So this is gonna be an additive then. So that was really 200%. So my really fast one is 400%. Damn, son. That is crazy. Let's cast this buff on us now and see how fast we go. Yeah, so this is really 400%. That is crazy. Yep, return to normal. Okay, so now what I want to be able to do is I want to have my spells override each other. I think to do this, I gotta change my cast times. No, you know what? I can do this. So 5 seconds here. Right? And then do this, cast this spell. Oh shit, it did it! Nope, your speed returns to normal. Okay. So it's... yeah, and then normal speed. So I need to find a way to intercept the tier 1 version of this spell. You know what I could do? I could do a substring, I think. Okay, I think I know what I can do. Where is my... Oh, there it is. So, yeah, so it's called walk speed, run speed. I'm actually not, I did not get into info here. I think it's just called run speed 1. So what I could do is say affected caller ID, affected ID. I can create a new ID. String, yeah, string. I'm just gonna call it test for now, equals this affected ID dot substring. I believe substring starts at the end, right? Starts at the specified character position and continues to the end. So I could do substring. The starting index would be this dot affected ID dot length, I believe, the number of characters, right? Length -1, I think that's what I want to do. I'm gonna cut it out of here. I'm gonna put it right here. So it's gonna be my info. Cut this out, paste. So I'm gonna have an info 1 and an info 2. So I'll see what the original ID is of the spell, and then I'll see what my modified ID is. So it's called run speed 2, info 2. It's just the number 2. Shit. So that is not what I wanted here. I haven't had to do substring stuff in a while. I think what I want to do is the starting index, right? So I can do something like substring 0 dot oh, I could do trim. Removes all leading and trailing white space characters from the current string. No, I don't want trim. Crap. All right, I'm gonna look this up. So this is something great for people to see. If you ever have issues, like you can't remember how to do something, you can just Google search it, right? C#, I'm gonna say string trim last character. You could put more into it. Trim end is something we could do. Oh, see, this is what I was thinking. Your string length. So return string remove string length -1. See, there are always multiple ways of doing this stuff, right? I could do substring last character to another. So what do we have here? I want the last 4 characters of the string. I can use substring length, hello world length. So substring max, how many lines is this? If you're positive, it's at least 4. Do it even shorter. Length -4. So starting index and then length. So I think I could do something like this, maybe? We'll give it a try. Alright, let's cast the spell again. No, it's just returning the number 2. I want to get everything before that part. So I could say C# string get first digits. Okay, so new string input take while character is digit to array. What the fuck is that person doing? Why would you do a to array here? The Linux approach, I think I typed in C#. Okay, thanks. I don't want to do a loop for it. How to get the first 5 characters of a string. Your string variable substring 0, 5. Do I have this maybe backwards then? Maybe I have this backwards. So this would be 0. This would be the length -1 because I want the last letter to fall off. Okay, let's try it now. There we go. So as we could see here, run speed 2 is the name of the spell, but I have run speed as well. Now what I need to do is do a check for run speed 2. The only thing I could think of is bulky code right now, so I may have to just go with that. All right, let's move this over. So ideally what I could do is something like this would be run speed 1, and then I could do a check with run speed 1. Let's create a bunch of space here. I think what I need to do, I need to put an if statement in here. This isn't going to be the final form of our code, but it is going to be enough, I believe. I'm going to need these. And I can look at the has attribute. Instead of this affected ID, it's going to be test. There we go. Now test, so I should be able to see an override. Let's put in a logging statement here. I'm going to say erased weaker buff. And then I'm going to print out test. That way it prints out the buff. Okay, so let me get all my mana back here. Alright, so I'm going to put run speed 1 on myself. Boop, feel quicker, hooray. Run speed 2. That is definitely run speed 2. Erased weaker buff. So I did hop into here. I think I did erase it. But we'll find out. Nope, your speed returns to normal. And then your speed returns to normal too. So it said it erased it and it did not. But it did detect the buff, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Oh shit, wait a minute. Here we go. if this has this attribute, then erase this attribute. Oh, I need to... Crap. This wasn't right. Okay, so I need to get test. So if you have the test attribute, then get rid of the test attribute. Unregister that callback. And then continue casting the spell. Alright. Let's do it again. So we got the regular run speed. Your feet feel quicker. Your feet feel quicker too. I should see your speed returns to normal too. If this is working. Only. So far it's looking good. Your speed returns to normal too. We just overrode the buff. Awesome. Freaking awesome. Okay. Whew. Because the idea is if you are casting a spell, right? Like I don't want... that means we got to account for people casting a weaker version of a spell. Damn it. Alright, the code's got to evolve even more. Because what if I have run speed 2 on, and then someone else does an AoE for, like, run speed 1? I want my run speed 2 to still, you know, to still be effective, right? Maybe I'll be nice and I can copy over the... I could copy over the time. That way it could maybe increase your run speed time. But then people could just use weaker versions of the spell. Maybe I won't. Yeah, I won't do that. Because then you could make your mana really extend. Just cast the maximum buff on yourself, and then keep casting run speed 1 to like refresh your whole duration. That's kind of cheap. Alright, so... I'm gonna have to deal with this, so let's do deal with this. Erases the weaker spell. Needs to account for tier 1 through 4. I'm just writing myself a note. I should say still needs to. You know what I could do? I could probably do a switch statement. I think a switch statement would work, because I could say if, you know, this is okay, because I have tiers 1 through 4. I think I could make a switch statement. Switch case, I want switch case string. Not gonna disable my ad blocker. You can kiss the tainted part of my ass. There are plenty of other places that have what I want. Right, because this is all I would need. It's just like my switch, right? So I can put something in like this. Yeah, this isn't what I want exactly. Yeah, this is what I'm gonna want. So I could come up with 4 temporary variables. I could call this string spell tier 1. I will make it just an empty string. We can do spell tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and you know what? I'll do tier 4 as well. And then I can have the switch, and then I can get the this dot affected ID, and then dot substring. Whoops. Then I can get the length of the substring. Like this. I could do a 1, 2. You know, I'll start with 4. I'll do a 4, 3, 2, 1, and then default. So if this is a tier 4 spell, I'm going to want to do this. Tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 is going to equal this plus 1. You know, I could... I'm gonna create another string. I'll call it spell tier base, just because this whole thing is kind of crappy looking. Spell tier base. Now what I could do is just... this. There we go. Switch affected. So here we go. See, that limits it quite a bit. 2 and 3. So if it's a tier 4 spell, I can parse it through and say tiers. I can get the string for tiers 1, 2, and 3, the idea for the previous ones. Why do I even have the switch statement? Because I could do this. Ah! Snooze! So 1, 2, 3, 4. I wonder, can you do if statements through switches? Because if that's the case, can I do like this? No, I don't think so, huh? A constant value is expected. That damn ringtone, you know you love it. Do 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 do. I could also just pass in the tier level instead of doing what I'm doing. I guess that's another way I could do this. So what are we doing? I'm creating a basic tier, so I'm just getting the... So I'll just get run speed instead of run speed 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm recompiling that based on 1, 2, 3, and 4. What about the spells that don't have a tier 1, 2, 3, and 4? I guess I could still use it, it just wouldn't fire off the code, that's all. It just wouldn't fire off this part. So I would have to do this. So that's the same thing that we're already doing. I think I gotta pass in the tier of the spell. And then use that spell tier to parse through here so I could see if it's tier 4. Although I don't think I can have if statements in here. Like this whole thing can't go in here, I don't think. Oh shit, it can? Wait a minute, can I really do this? Nah, this would be too cheap. This would be too cheap. Please let me be able to do this. So I can say erased weaker buff, right? Let's get rid of this one here so it's less confusing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna parse this through. If this affected ID equals, oh, you know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to substring this the other way. Base ending, I'll say. And then parse this whole thing through the base ending. So if the ending is 4, it's going to try and erase tiers 1, 2, and 3 spells. If it's tier 3, it needs to try and erase these 2 spells. If it's tier 2, it can only erase tier 1 spells. If it's tier 1, do nothing, else do nothing. Come on, baby. Let's give this a try. And I need to delete this out. All right. So I have run speed. Cast this spell. Yep, I have my super speed. Did it erase it? I think it did. I think it's working. Sweet. So what I just did there, I know it was a lot of me mumbling. I'm making this to where it's run speed agnostic. So I have a lot of spells. Damn it. Snooze. One more time. So I have a lot of spells that overlap. Like look at this one, for instance, Endure Elements. It protects you, it fortifies you against extreme temperatures like cold, you know, so it protects you from the cold element, but there are going to be different potencies and different lengths. So what I did is I had it to where if you have like a tier 1 version of any of these spells and someone casts a more powerful tier 2 spell on you, like, you know, anything that's like a buff, right? Healing is going to be something that's just a burst. Kind of like a projectile, but something like swim speed or run speed or, you know, barrier or spike shield, whatever it is. So if someone casts a more potent version of that spell, it's going to erase all lesser versions of it to give you the best version. And vice versa too. If you're trying to cast a tier 1 spell on someone, I don't want the tier 2 or that tier 1 spell to even take effect. So that's going to be the second part of this. But the first part is done. This right here, we'll check to see, and I gotta make sure I comment this. Checks to see if lesser spells are on the player. If so, remove them for the new buff. All right. Now what I'm gonna have to do is make it to where if you have a better version, then it doesn't try to apply. So yeah, because I think it's not going to work well. So if I cast this better version... Oh, shoot. Wrong spells. Let's memorize run speed. And memorize the better run speed. Alright, so if I put the better version on myself... And then someone casts the crappier version... See, it put it on me. So, yeah, and there it goes. The first one dropped off. And then I'll get another one saying return to normal. Yep, there we go. So I need a check. I think what I need to do is get the... I think I need another switch statement. So if this doesn't have this affected ID... Yeah, I think these Switch versions are going to be a little more robust. Because I would have to do a check to make sure that you don't have this ID or anything above it, right? So if this is a tier 1 spell, I have to make sure that you don't already have the tier 1 spell effect on, or the tier 2, or the tier 3, or the tier 4. So that's going to be like a dynamic thing. So I'm going to have to modify this. I guess before I do that, I can kind of compress this down and make it look a little better. All right, something like this. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. Kind of make a space in here. There we go. Case 4. Case 3. There, just because I'm going to be commenting or copying this code. And it's going to get a lot bigger. I don't need to take up more space than I need to. I may be able to just reuse this instead of making a new switch statement. Alright. I have to go be an adult. That's what she said. Indeed, Bernardo, that is what she said. Okay, so I guess the next thing I'm gonna have to work on is a system to... I'll just put it here to do... Check if weaker spell is trying to override stronger spell. Do not apply weaker spell. Man, the spell system's definitely more advanced, right? Like the buff and debuff system. But once it's in, oh my god, like I'm gonna be able to just churn out all these different kinds of spells riding off of this, right? It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. We're gonna find someone to raid, because I need to be an adult. It's not my first choice. Who's playing Vintage Story? The Iron Man episode. Who is this? Why can't I find Iron now? Well, French. I'm not sure what that is. French again. Wow, there are a lot of people playing this game that do not speak English. Finally going caving. That could be fun. Let me just make sure. All right, I think. Yeah, here we go. We'll raid this person. Someone new. Exclamation raid / raid a human mess. Whatever. I can't really say much, right? My name is Vice. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. I mean, it's getting closer every day, right? once this is done, I think I will be able to kind of spool out all the buffs and then have like a playable state. We can craft spells. I didn't show that off, but we can craft spells. We can learn random spells. The whole gameplay loop is coming together. I know it's hard for you Americans to get this, but lots of people don't speak English. Yeah, well, I do. So if I'm gonna be entertained by something, it's got to speak my language, Bernardo. That's the way this works. First world problems, I know, but I like to understand what the people are saying. Thank you, everyone. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stream a little later tonight. This was a shorter stream, but I wanted to get something out, and I was working on the mod anyways. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope you think the spells are coming together. I think the run speed spell is pretty damn cool. And I'll catch you all later. Have a good one. Bye.